Welcome back. In this first video, we're talking about analyzing your first rental property. So careful analysis is what enables you to eliminate poor investments and recognize a great deal among a handful of good ones. If you do your due diligence regularly and routinely using well-supported evidence of current market values, rents, and home price appreciation, this will limit your risk. So let's talk about estimating the property value. Every property has three prices: the list price, fair market value, and the investor offer price. If you're getting a loan to purchase your property through a bank, right, the bank's going to want to know what the value is going to be so they can base what they're going to lend you on the loan. So just because the agent has a list price, that doesn't mean that's the true value. So what's imperative that you do is understand how to comp a property, pulling comps. So what is that? So finding comparables. That's what comps means. So you collect reliable information around the subject property. So you're looking for apples to apples, not apples to oranges. You want like for like property. And the best source to get these comps is MLS. That's what the agents use, multiple listing service. Now we all don't have access to MLS, so what you would have to do is you get Zillow or Redfin. But make sure you use the filters so you can make sure all the features are the same when you compare the comparables to your subject property. Let's talk about projecting the rents. Projecting the rent is very important, okay, in analyzing your rental property, because that's how you're going to make some cash flow. If you project the rents too high, you could be stuck with a vacant property, right? That's the last thing we want. Or if you project the rent too low, you may not calculate the deal into your favor. So you want to be precise on rental values. So how can you get some rental comps? So there's a few ways to do that. One, once again, MLS. You can go to have an agent, pull some comps, or your property manager. You can go to rentometer.com. They're really good at pulling rents. And last but not least, go into the local market. Go see what rents are. Call the little red and white for rent by owner signs and see what they're doing. See if they're landlords in the neighborhood and pick their brain as well. Let's talk about calculating costs for your rental. There are several expenses you need to take into consideration when analyzing your rental property, such as property management fees. Those can be anywhere from 7 to 10%. Leasing costs, maintenance, marketing, utilities, property taxes, insurance, and amongst other. There's always other, right? So legal fees, whatever it may be. Another common expense when you're buying a condo or a townhouse, or if you're in a gated community, is the HOA, homeowners insurance. Understanding these expenses will help you determine your net operating income, which we call NOI, so you know what your true cash flow is. Now let's talk about your cost of repairs. You need to know what it's going to cost you to fix up the property and get it into the condition to be rentable. Your cost of repairs is the final number to consider when analyzing a property. Though it will be not a monthly expense, but it's an affect your numbers going into the deal, and this will influence your decision if it's a good deal or not, right? So you might have a good price, but if I'm purchasing the property, but if it's a major renovation, that can mess up the numbers. That's more money out of your pocket up front. Being new to the business and this being your first rental property, I always suggest taking on properties with less repairs. We call it TLC, paint and carpet, or even turnkey if you're okay with that. Do this until you build a trusted team of general contractors, like your power team we talked in the last video. You want to make sure you have your team ready, that you can walk in there, get a deeper discounted deal, move faster, and get it renovated. But until then, keep it light. So let's talk about analyzing the property now. Now that you've done your due diligence, you found your target investment, you ran your comps, you estimated your rental income, you estimated your expenses, you determined your net operating income, it's time to run the numbers and make sure the numbers meet your investment goals. So remember, don't get emotional, stick to your numbers, because this is where you got to make the money. The best way to gain experience when analyzing properties is to work the numbers on as many properties as you can. When I teach my comping classes, the homework is when you leave this class, go out and comp 50 properties, right? So go out and comp properties on MLS for rent. Just run numbers on a bunch of properties that aren't even yours and you have no intention of buying. You'll just get better over time by doing this. So, and by doing this, you'll start to create formulas and methods and rules of thumb that help you make faster and quicker decisions. So some of those shortcuts that you'll use to make those quicker decisions are the cap rate, capitalization rate. This is computed by taking the NOI and dividing that by the property's value. Or another one is cash on cash return. Year one cash flow numbers divided by your down payment or total cash out of pocket. I'd highly recommend getting to understand the lingo and all this jargon. There's more ROI definitions you can get to. You can go to asria.org/glossary, and we have hundreds and hundreds of terms that you can get the definitions on. So this section was about analyzing your property, running, so you have a good idea of exactly what numbers you need to take into consideration when analyzing, making sure your target property is a good deal. Now the next video we'll go into is buying the property.